Hello and welcome to the NorseForce Valhalla Cup Series season finale. This is the championship race here tonight at Homestead, Miami for 130 laps. Tonight's race presented by Crockett Beef Jerky, Blaze Pizza, the ButtKicker, and Next Level Racing. We're going to be going green in just a little while here. The drivers are on the track qualifying right now, putting their times down, trying to figure out where they are starting in tonight's event and trying to set themselves up for a championship. We have 4 drivers coming into the race tonight that have a shot at it. Let's go look at one of them on the track right now. Mr. Nicholas Short out on the track. He's put up the second fastest time behind Chris Samard, another driver who's going to be eligible tonight. And if you take a look on your screen, these are the 4 drivers eligible to win the championship tonight. They're all coming in tied in points. It's going to be the top finisher that takes home the championship. Your 4 contenders: Anthony Burrows, Keith Mayato, Nicholas Short, and Chris Samard. As Nicholas Short puts in the time, he's going to sit on the pole for the moment. And it is nice to be back here after missing last week's race at ISM. I believe Anthony Burrows came home the winner there, and that was what allowed him to advance here. He got enough points from the 2 races in round number 2, along with Keith Mayato, Nicholas Short, and Chris Samard. They earned the most points in that round of the playoffs, and they are here and competing for the championship tonight. So going to be a fun one. Going to be very intense for those drivers as Keith Mayato rolls off the pit lane. Keith's still looking for his first win of the season, but he's made it this far in the playoff hunt without that win, just based on consistency alone. Same with Chris Samard and Nicholas Short. The only driver in the top 4 with wins is Anthony Burrows, and he has quite a few of them, the most of any driver this season. Looking to add to that win total here tonight. Mayato comes across the line, going to put down his first time the next time by. Also Ian Smith, Derek Justice, and William Kenny on the racetrack as well, trying to put their times in. We'll have to see how they do. But Mayato coming down the back straightaway, working that high line, high entry. Running about the 3rd groove up on the racetrack, not quite up against the outside wall, but trying to carry as much momentum here for lap number 2, which I think is going to be his fast time. Mayato puts down a 32.083. That's good for 7th on his first lap. Down, running a much lower line here on lap number 2, right up to that outside wall as he charges down the back straightaway one more time. Down into turns 3 and 4. This time he chooses the low line, the shorter route. Going to be much faster than that high line, but you got to keep the truck or the car off the wall. Across the start finish line, Mayato puts down a 31.5. That is going to move him to the top of the boards. Derek Justice coming around. He's going to be putting down, I believe, his first fast time. Actually, now going into turns 3 and 4, so this is going to be his time coming by. (31.898) for his first lap. See what he does here on lap number 2. Once again, the much shorter route around the speedway, down on that low line, going to be the fast way around. Are just joining us, this is the season finale of the NorseForce Racing League as Derek Justice almost gets into the wall there down the front straightaway. 31.537. That's going to be good for 3rd fastest. And Derek missed last week's race. He was in position to advance, but did not score any points because he missed the race and unfortunately got eliminated from the championship contention here. Anthony Burrows now on the speedway, the last driver of the final 4 to try and put a time in. First lap at 31.897. Definitely a fast lap to open things up, as he is scored 9th right now, trying to carry as much momentum down into turns 3 and 4, and this is going to be a pretty solid lap. I think getting a little bit loose there, a little low out of the corner, maybe not going to have quite as much as he needs. He's going to go to second though with a 5:08. Anthony Burrows P2 on the boards, and 12 out of our 13 drivers have taken a time. And just 2 minutes left in the session. May not be enough time for James Mead to put down a lap, as Anthony Burrows puts it on the front row. Let's check out tonight's weather and see what the drivers are dealing with. 87-degree air temp and 90-degree track temp. Even though it's sunset here, it's still got a lot of heat in the track, and definitely going to be wearing the tires, as this is an older surface. And we'll have to see how those drivers cope with the tire wear and the high speeds, working the draft, and all of that in this race. It's all going to be an obstacle for them that they're going to have to try and overcome. And the closer you start to the front, the more of an advantage you will have early on in this race. Looks like Ryan Libby also jumping into the race here. He has not taken a qualifying time yet, and I think he's going to probably run out if he doesn't go right now. But we want to thank all the sponsors here once again. That's Crockett Creek Beef Jerky, Blaze Pizza, the ButtKicker, as well as Next Level Racing. And we want to thank Below the Double Yellow, a podcast for NASCAR fans by NASCAR fans. And you can check that out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It's presented by V-Speed, so check it out. Some great racing content over there. We do have some new merchandise on our website as well. So if you like the podcast, you want to support those guys, go check out the t-shirts and hats that we have on our website, or the stickers as well, and you can support them that way. And also support them by downloading and following them on those different platforms. Some great content over there at Below the Double Yellow. And just 10 seconds remaining in qualifying here. Looks like the field's going to be pretty much set as is, and how you see it. And it looks like Keith Mayato, in the last race of the season, going to capture the pole. I believe his first pole of the year. We are going to go to the starting grid for tonight's championship race. Starting on the pole, it's going to be Mr. Keith Mayato, the number 36 V-Speed machine. Puts it out front, 31.5, and right on his tail in second, Anthony Burrows with a 31.508. That is good enough for second fastest. He will be on the front row here. Starting in third, it'll be Nicholas Short with a 31.535. He's looking for a championship tonight as well. Derek Justice going to be rolling off in the fourth position, 31.537. Chris Samard looking for a championship. He's going to be the last of the 4 championship contenders in the 5th position. Dylan Parker starting in 6th in the number 25 machine. And Ian Smith going to be rolling off in 7th in the 28. Jake Klimovich going to be rolling off in the 8th position. Andrew Rattel going to be rolling off in 9th. And Brian Saberi starting in the top 10 in 10th position. Joseph Sizek going to be rolling off in 11th position. And William Kenny starting in the 12th position. Ryan Libby going to be rolling off in 13th. And James Mead going to be rounding out the field here in the 14th spot. In the number 10 machine. He did not take a time, and neither did Mr. Libby. And they are getting moving here on the racetrack. Got to keep an eye on our 4 championship contenders. Here they are once again. It's going to be Anthony Burrows, Keith Mayato, Nicholas Short, and Chris Samard. So watch out for the number 62, the 36, the 99, and the 37 throughout tonight's race. They're all fighting for the championship, and the highest finisher will take home the trophy. cheer on your favorite driver in the chat. Let us know you're out there and let them know. And we'll give you a shout out on the broadcast, so the drivers know that you're out there cheering for them. As the field working their way down into turns 3 and 4, Keith Mayato, Anthony Burrows, championship contenders, getting ready to let the field go behind them. Pace car lights are off. We'll be going this time here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Pace car takes that hard left onto pit road, and green flag in the air. We are underway from Homestead for the championship race. As the field works down into turn number 1 side by side for the top spot. Keith Mayato drifting up to that second lane. Anthony Burrows pushes up to the third lane. He's trying to carry some momentum. Maybe going to try and conserve some tires early. This is track very abrasive and very hot out here tonight. We'll bring up the ticker so you can follow along with your favorite drivers. And leading lap 1, it is Mr. Keith Mayato, the number 36 V-Speed machine, but Nicholas Short has moved all the way up to second. Already gaining 2 spots in the first lap, and he's closing in on the back bumper of Mayato. Nicholas Short has been known to lead these races early, almost making contact there down into turn 3. Very aggressive stab at it as the 36 drifts up the racetrack. Short trying to keep that car a little bit lower. And shortcut to the 36, but not going to happen that time by, as Mayato leads lap 2. Anthony Burrows trying to fend off Derek Justice as the top 2 have skated away about 10 car lengths. Ian Smith, Chris Samard right there as well in 5th and 6th position. Right behind them, Dylan Parker, race winner from earlier this season. He is back here in the 7th position, fighting for a chance to win another race here this year. Jake Klimovich starting in the 8th position, that beast racing machine. We'll see how he does. I don't believe he's made a start here this year. We'll see if he can capture a win in his first attempt. Andrew Rattle, another driver, I think new to the series and showing up just at the tail end of it. The 19 Exalta machine. See how he does here tonight. And Ryan Severi, William Kenny, a couple other drivers we have not seen out here, but Severi, the 33 machine, and Kenny back here tail end in the 42. Those drivers looking for some success in the opening race of their careers here. But Mayato out in front. He is showing the way over Nicholas Short. Already now 5 laps into the event. Mayato has led them all. Short right in his tire tracks. And these guys are going to have to be careful that they don't wear the tires too quickly, or Anthony Burrows, Derek Justice, and Ian Smith, some very good tire savers, might find their way up there. As Justice peeking down low, no room to make that move. He's going to tuck back in line behind Burrows. Down the back straightaway they go one more time. The field getting fairly single file, but you can see the different approaches to the line around this racetrack. As we'll probably see slightly different entries from a few different drivers. You see Samard up about a lane, Derek Justice down about a half lane to a lane below Anthony Burrows. And Keith Mayato up here looking for his first win, running a bit higher than most drivers on the racetrack. And we'll see if that helps the tire wear or hurts him in the long run. Everybody pretty much single file right now and trying to find their position in line to set up for hopefully a long green flag run. As Smart working a little bit higher on entry than Ian Smith. You can see he brings that car down and right in line can get a huge draft coming out of turn number 4. Samard gonna look down low, and he will nearly get to the inside. Almost contact there. 28 maybe checked up a little bit more than he was expecting, but Ian Smith gonna let him right on past. Chris Simard back up to 5th, right where he started. Gonna try and chase down that ice cream machine, the 31, Derek Justice. Derek right where he started, and also very successful year, multiple wins, I believe 3, and was looking like he was on his way to the Final Four, but missed last week's race, and that knocked him out of contention. I believe he'll end up right around 5th or 6th in the final standings. But a very successful year for Derek after it didn't start so well in the first few races. Right now up in the 4th spot and challenging for 3rd as Nicholas Short started to close back in on Keith Mayato. Now looking to the inside, almost alongside, but not quite there, as Mayato carrying the momentum up high. Short pulling a little draft from that left rear quarter panel. He's going to look low this time. Mayato not able to cope with the speed, but trying to carry momentum up high. Nicholas Short probably going to get him at the line, and he will lead. But can he hang on to it as they dive down into turn 1? Nicholas Short with the shorter route. No pun intended. Rolling up in front. He's going to take the lead away from Mayato. Gives him a little shove down into the corner. And we've seen that 99 be so good on short runs and the start of races, but hasn't put one together yet. Can he do it this time? Remains to be seen, but this is when it all matters. Just 13 laps into it. Are some of these guys pushing it a little too hard? And will some of these drivers towards the back, like Jake Klimovich and Andrew Rattle, gonna find their way towards the front? Looks like we were going to have a battle there. The 53 of Joseph Sizek right on the back bumper of the 19 going down into turn 1. He's starting to put some pressure on. This is going to be for 9th and 10th. And Sizek rolling down low. Big run out of turn number 2. I think the 19 might just give it to him here. Looks like he does back off pretty early. And that's going to be a change of position right at the tail end of the top 10, but, oh, maybe crossover move here. 53 really got out of the throttle coming out of turn 4. Back up inside the top 5. Chris Simard still with Ian Smith all over his back bumper. And Anthony Burrows still hanging on to 3rd. Derek Justice riding in that 4th spot at the moment. And if you haven't checked out Derek's content, go check him out at Justice, spelled exactly like his last name is showing on the ticker here. Great driver, and willing to help anyone learn to get faster in iRacing. And he's definitely one of the fastest. As Mayato way up on the outside, he's gonna brush the wall. Not gonna lose any momentum though, and he's right on the back bumper of Nicholas Short, and we'll have to see if there's any damage. Doesn't look like he did, just a tiny little scrape, but not enough to hurt the race car, and that is definitely a good sign. Is any aero damage gonna put you off the pace? Dylan Parker just up in front of Jake Klimovich. They're pretty much all on their own for the moment. About a second back to Klimovich, and Up 6/10 from Parker is Ian Smith. We'll have to see if running back there kind of solo helps with the tire wear, as they don't have to fight the effects of dirty air quite as much as some of the guys that are running closer together. But that remains to be seen. Nicholas Short still out in front. Keith Maotto going to look down low. He says, "You had your moment. I'm going to try and take it back." So they work their way out of turn 2. Side by side, just a couple feet between those race cars. Maotto hanging on to that left rear quarter panel, pulling a side draft on the 99. In the center of the turn, you could see how fast he just shot out of a cannon. And he jumps out in front of Nicholas Short and will retake the lead. So Maotto back to the front for the second lead change of the night. Now working lap number 20. We are going to go quickly to a commercial break side by side and be right back with more racing action.
Okay, we're going to keep this quick.
Because at Blaze Pizza,
artisanal quality at crazy fast speed is what we're all about.
Fresh dough made from scratch daily.
Walk the line and choose any toppings you'd like.
It's all one price.
Then it's just 180 seconds in our blazing hot oven
For fast bar perfection.
That's Blaze Pizza. Sound good?
Then come check us out and build your own pizza at Blaze Pizza.
With the ButtKicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. ButtKicker, the future is feeling.
At the front of the field, still Keith Maotto showing the way. Nicholas Short has closed back up. It looked like he was about 4 car lengths back there. Now he cuts that gap down to 1 car length. Anthony Burrows, Derek Justice have closed in as well. Perhaps saving a little bit of tire over the first 20 laps. Let's see what happens. They can make their way to the front. And you saw the ButtKicker commercial there under the break. You can save 20% off your purchase of ButtKicker products using code NORSE20 at thebuttkicker.com. So check out what they've got to offer over there and see what you've been missing, or feel what you've been missing rather, with ButtKicker. Again, that's code NORSE20 to save 20% off your purchase at thebuttkicker.com. We want to thank them for being a sponsor throughout this season. Has been a great year for these guys. Lots of exciting racing, side-by-side battling, and surprise finishes, tight finishes, 4 wide moments, all of that. It's come down to tonight's race, the finale at Homestead. Keith Maotto leading, Nicholas Short and Anthony Burrows. Those are the top 3, all contenders for the championship tonight. The 4th contender, Chris Simard, currently in 5th. He's got a little bit of a gap to make up to get to Derek Justice. This is a look out the nose of that B-Speed Camaro. Currently 1.7 seconds back of his teammate who rides in the lead. Maotto leading the most laps in tonight's race that he has led in a race all season. Chris Simard maybe wishing he'd slow down a little bit so he can catch back up. But I don't see that happening. Derek Justice still riding in 4th. So the top 4 on your screen, the 62 of Anthony Burrows starting to put some pressure on Nicholas Short, and we'll see what the 99's got to hold off the 62. We want to thank the rest of our sponsors once again here tonight. Crockett Creek Beef Jerky presenting tonight's race, and you can use the code GIVEME20 over on their website to save 20% on your purchase of Crockett Creek Beef Jerky. The link is in the chat, so check it out. Those guys have been an excellent sponsor for the series, starting I think around the halfway point. I want to thank them for being a part of the action here this season. We look forward to working with them in the future. Go check out their delicious beef jerky on their website. Keith Maato showing the way. The V-Speed Mustang leading the 99 of Nicholas Short. That unsponsored red to yellow gradient race car hanging on to second over Anthony Burrows, that 62 machine. And it is a scary sight when that 62 is this close to the front at this point in the race. There were so many times this year where he would come seemingly out of nowhere and find his way into the top 5 before the end of the race, often finding wins on his way. We'll see if he can do it again here tonight. Currently not in the lead, hasn't led any laps yet, but right in the thick of it in P3. Let's jump back here to the 8th position. New starter in tonight's race, that's Brian Saberi. Currently in 8th, he started back in 10th, so moving forward. And a couple drivers have taken it behind the wall. That's Jake Klimovich and Ryan Libby, both taking it behind the wall. William Kenny back here in the 11th position, started in 12th. He's 19 seconds back of your leader. A little damage on the race car. 19 machine of Andrew Rattle hanging on to P10 at the moment. He started in 9th, just about 13.3 seconds back of your leaders, and we'll see if he can close that gap up and maybe have a better shot at a top 5 before this night is through. Right now you can throw a blanket over the top 4, and then Chris Smard here in 5th, trying to chase them back down. He's currently 1.2 seconds back of those drivers. See that group right up there in front of him. Let's go on board here with Derek Justice. The lights are on now. It's getting pretty dark here. What is that going to do to track conditions? It looks like everything's staying about the same, but things should start cooling off pretty soon. And to recap now, just about a quarter of the way through the race. 2 lead changes, no cautions. These guys doing a great job now, 35 laps in. And your only leaders here tonight, Nicholas Short and Keith Maato, have led a good amount of laps. Maato leading 26 of these first 35, going to be 27 coming by here. And then Nicholas Short has led 8 laps. He's under pressure from the 62. But Burrows seems pretty content to just ride where he is at, kind of pace things out, not burn up the tires. He is all over the back bumper now, As Short nearly brushed the wall. Looks like Dalen Parker starting to close in on Ian Smith, the number 25 machine. Maybe a little bit of right front damage. Maybe caught the wall a little bit. Very easy to do that. Yep, just a little crinkle there on the right front. And right now, a little under a second behind Ian Smith. As they head down the back straightaway. Over 175 miles an hour, nearly 180 down into turns 3 and 4. And they really got to roll out of the throttle here with the way the cars are set up tonight. Keith Maotto starting to pull away. The gap now 8/10 back to Nicholas Short. And this is definitely the battle we want to watch for P2. If Anthony Burrows gets by, can he chase down Keith Maotto? Based on lap times, the closest in times are the 36 and the 62. Nicholas Short just a tick off of both of them. That time by Maotto, not such a great lap. Maybe an issue out of turn number 4 as he ran a 33.6. Everybody else in the 33 4s and 5s. So perhaps Maotto pushing a little too hard. Maybe overdrove one of these corners. Very easy to do that. And to overestimate the grip that you've got. As that gap now shrinking back down to under 0.6 of a second to Nicholas Short. Once again, Maotto in the 6s, Burrows and Short in the 5s. Anthony Burrows right there now. He's going to look down low, down the back straightaway. This is the fight for second position. Short really going to charge the entry there. The 62 keeping the nose down in clean air. He is going to get alongside on turn exit. And down the front straightaway, it is door to door across the start finish line. Anthony Burrows in that low line, going to try and undercut the 99. And a good drive through the center of the corner. He's going to take the position away, and we have a new second place driver. Anthony Burrows trying to find his way to the front. It looks like the number 19 machine rolling off of pit lane. Or rolling onto pit lane, rather. He's getting service done on that vehicle. Looks like he's going to try and split this into 3 stints. The first one a little bit shorter, 42 laps. He is going to go a lap down. Looks like Joseph Sizek now on pit lane as well. He will most likely go a lap down, and we'll see when the lead drivers start making those stops and what the effect is of those fresh tires. Maotto pulling a lead back over Anthony Burrows, currently at 0.8 of a second, and Burrows has gotten away from the 99 of Nicholas Short. And there you can see the 19 of Andrew Rattle coming off of pit lane. William Kenny onto pit lane now. He goes a lap down before he even makes his stop, so right at the tail end of the lead lap, some heavy damage on the right front of that car. Heavy damage. He gives a little lock up there coming to pit lane. We'll see if any of these guys start to make that move. If they split it into thirds, it would be right about now that they should try and bring it down. But if they go a little bit longer here, the next 2 runs are shorter, which means they can push the car a little bit harder, go a little bit faster than somebody who pits earlier. But right now, 3 drivers have made pit stops. Looks like Two drivers have taken it behind the wall. That's Jake Klimovich and Ryan Libby, both out of the event. They both took it behind the wall early on in this race. William Kenny showing his 2 laps down as he looks like he is making his way out of pit lane right now. An extended stop, 20 seconds. To try and get some of that damage repaired, I believe. Getting back up to speed, he's going to make it back onto the racetrack cleanly. And nobody really around him. So just 11 cars left in this race. The bottom 3 on the scoring pylon out of the event. Keith Maotto still showing the way. And it looks like none of the top 8 going to bring it down. Everybody's still out there. And they may run it till it's dry here on this opening run and then try and cut that last run in half. Currently lapped 47 out of 130. And things going smoothly, no cautions. A handful of lead changes. Anthony Burrows starting to cut into the lead here in that 62 car. Does he have something to challenge Keith Maotto? It looks like he does right now, and he's in the draft. So the wins leader this year. And he will end the season, regardless of tonight's performance, with the most wins. But he's trying to add to that total here. To show that he deserved it. At 62. Trying to keep up with that 36 machine, and he's doing a great job. The only driver to do so is Nicholas Short, falling back into the hands of Derek Justice and Chris Samard. And we'll see if Justice has anything for the 99 or what he's been doing here on this run. See if he can improve as the race progresses. As he drifts a little bit up the track, Chris Samard looks down low. He might try and take away that 4th position, and he'll dive into turn 3 and take it away temporarily. Derek Justice will fall in behind, and that is how they will line up. Chris Samard up to 4th, Justice back to 5th. Now we have seen Derek pull all kinds of strategy. Doesn't seem like he's pulling the run really slow at the start strategy today. Just doesn't have the speed at the moment to get up there and challenge for the win, but knowing Derek, he'll find something here. He'll figure out a way to get up there and be within striking distance when it counts, but really charging that corner hard, not able to get any grip. As Chris Samard peeks down low, he's right on the back bumper of Nicholas Short. He'll look down there, almost contact. Oh, the 99, a little rub in there, and they are right up against each other. Very, very close to a major incident. But some great driving to hang on to it. Oh, almost contact going into the corner. And Short says, I'm done with that. You guys you can take it. And Chris Samard moves into P3, saving early. Paying off later, but still a ways to go. As Keith Maotto out in front continues to show the way. 43 laps led, the most he's led in a race this year by far. Drivers we haven't talked too much about. Brian Severi back here, he's in the 6th position, actually doing a good job. He's passed up Ian Smith. I'm not sure what Ian is doing, if he's just burned up the tires or he's got something else in mind, but currently Ian back in the 7th spot. And not quite up to pace with the top 6. Derek Justice running about the similar speed, though. I'm not sure. Not sure if they're maybe trying to make this a one-stop race. They've only got to go 12 more laps. Let's listen to Yep, there's definitely a clutch going in right there. He's not shutting the engine off as he's still got some RPMs up on the dash. But Derek Justice saving here, and I think Ian Smith might be in the same boat. He's running a very similar pace. Let's go on board with Ian here. Oh, no, he is not. Just really waiting on that throttle. So not saving in the number 28, but definitely saving in that number 31. Let's see if anybody else is. Maybe Nicholas Short. We're just going to go through the field and see what these guys are doing. No clutching from the 99. Samard's not clutching. Right now, Brian Severi, the fastest car on the speedway. He is moving out here at 33.5 last time by. Nobody else in that territory other than the drivers on fresh tires. And they're down in the 32s. Brian Severi really doing an excellent job of saving. He is closing in on Derek Justice. What a run here from the 33. He's up in 6, looking to try and get up there in the top 5 and maybe even challenge to get by Nicholas Short. Looks like Short way up the racetrack there. So a good debut in the finale for Brian Severi. We are still waiting on the top 7 to bring it down pit lane. And I don't see any sign of that. As Ian Smith, the tail end of that group, currently 12.8 seconds back. And he is being extremely smooth. I check one more time. Definitely not clutching, so he is not pulling the same strategy. Keith Maato out in front now, 1.5 seconds over Anthony Burrows. That pole position really paying off, as he has now led 50 laps in this race out of the 58 that have been run. Derek Justice challenging to take away 4th as Brian Severi has closed in at 33, really flying up towards the front of the field now. Like we said, running some of the fastest times of anyone on the track. As he goes to the inside, Derek Justice definitely saving, has no choice but to let the 33 on past. Derek now 8.3 seconds back of your leader, and he's holding up the 99 Nicholas Short, who looks down low. Nicholas alongside, maybe even both of them saving now. But Derek definitely clutching that car in, trying to get every last drop of fuel out of it. He's out in front, Keith Maato showing the way. He's still running an incredibly fast pace. Nobody really in that zip code right now. Brian Severi slowed up just a little bit now that he is behind the 53 car. And he has 8.4 seconds to get up to the leader, so it's going to be a tall order to make that up on the tail end of this run and even on the next run. Now 61 laps in the book. Derek Justice, or rather Keith Maato, has led most of them. Nicholas Short, the only other leader at any point in this race. He's back in 6th right now. And he has slowed his pace way up. I mean, he is a whole second slower than Keith Maato, along with Ian Smith. And now some clutching from the 99. Still no clutching from Ian Smith. I'm a little confused as to what's going on. Maybe Ian saved earlier and he's not trying to make up time. Now Derek Justice trying to pick up some time. Currently 7.9 seconds back of your leader, Keith Mayato. Or actually, Mayato in the pits. He didn't make it to the halfway point, so he's going to have to save really hard on the backside here. And Mayato going to get put one lap down by Anthony Burrows. Under green flag, Anthony Burrows now taking over the lead. He's led 2 laps. Looks like the 28 of Ian Smith going to bring it down here. Lap 63 coming to lap 64 for him. He is on the pit lane, going to go a lap down as well as Anthony Burrows flies right on past. He's going to get to the halfway point. And he's going to have that number 62 out in front. Chris Samard bringing it down pit lane. He's going to be 1 lap short of halfway. And now it's just 4 drivers have yet to pit. Anthony Burrows going to go around another lap. Ryan Severi, he's going to go around another lap. Actually, 62 of Burrows brings it in. I guess they don't have to run the access road. The 33 of Severi going to bring it down, as well as Derek Justice. Oh, Justice really pushing the issue. I think he may have gotten speeding there. Nicholas Short, oh, also a bit wobbly on entry. Oh, yeah, he locked it up hard, almost coming down and making contact with that wall. We'll have to see what the pit times are. Anthony Burrows down here on the far end of pit lane. You can see Keith Mayato chasing down Joseph Sizek, who's going to take over the top spot. But Mayato last lap was 1.7 seconds faster, so he will be there probably about the start-finish line at that rate. You can see just how much faster he closes in. Now Sizek down low. I think he's going to lead a lap at least, and he will. Mayato going to take that right back though, and he's going to go to the front with a big advantage over Anthony Burrows. That gap now 4.5 seconds, but Mayato, he's going to have to save quite a bit more than he did, or didn't do, rather, on that first run. Anthony Burrows might be in the catbird seat here. Currently showing P3. Mayato, I'm not sure if he's saving on the front end. But that gap's still 4.5 seconds now to Anthony Burrows. Derek Justice did not get a penalty, neither did Nicholas Short, which is really pretty incredible. I don't know how they didn't, but must have averaged out to the point where they were slower than the speed limit in that first segment of pit lane. We're past the halfway point, so cheer on your favorite driver in chat and let us know you are out there. This thing has been green the whole way. Now working lap 69. We'll be coming to lap 70 as Mayato down into turn 3 and 4. Once again showing the way. 4.2 seconds back to Joseph Sizek, and that's going to change right now as Anthony Burrows goes flying on past Sizek, who pitted 27 laps ago. He's going to have to make at least one more stop. As the 42 machine of William Kenny, his engine blown on pit lane. Not sure if an issue there, but he's going to be done for the night, leaving 9 drivers on the speedway, the last of them being Nicholas Short, who was the furthest back to pit on that last cycle. Nicholas Short in P9, running the fastest laps of anyone, mind you, but he's got 23 seconds to make up on Keith Mayato, and I don't think it's possible unless Mayato runs out. But if he runs out, I don't think Anthony Burrows will run out, so at 62, waiting to capitalize on a mistake, not saving in run number 1. But we are going to cut to commercial break and come back. We'll see the status of our championship drivers right after this.
At Crockett Creek Beef Jerky, we don't have fancy Madison Avenue advertising. We don't have famous Hollywood endorsements. We don't have mythical creatures as mascots. See, here at Crockett Creek, we're proud of what we don't have. No artificial preservatives or chemicals, gluten-free, and no added MSG. Just all natural, small batch protein made in the foothills of the Smoky Mountains. Enjoy Crockett Creek Jerky, from our backyard to yours.
Third place changing hands just as we were coming back from that commercial break. Derek Justice passing up Chris Simard, so that puts Simard back to 4th. Speaking of which, we're going to get to where our 4 championship contenders are at tonight. Anthony Burrows currently riding in P2. Keith Mayato is leading with a 3-second advantage over Anthony Burrows. Nicholas Short currently showing in the 9th position. Last driver on the lead lap. And Chris Simard showing in the 4th position. Currently 9.3 seconds back of your leader. Looks like Anthony Burrows starting to make some progress. Catching up to Keith Mayato. That distance now just 2.9 seconds. It was right around 4.5 when the pit cycle was complete. Mayato with a few more laps on his tires, so he's going to feel those effects a little bit sooner, and he's also going to have to save a little bit of fuel and go basically 66 or 67 laps on this tank, and I don't know how doable that is. We saw Burrows and a handful of others get to just past the halfway point, but Mayato hasn't tried it yet. We'll see what difference that makes in the times coming to the finish here. But the gap now just 2.5 seconds. Anthony Burrows reeling him in, and so is Derek Justice. He knows it's go time. 8.2 seconds back. 5.6 back from Anthony Burrows, but I think right now Derek Justice is the fastest on the speedway. We'll see if he can make up that gap with the remaining laps here. Going to be just over 50 to go. Keith Mayato has led 65. He's led half the race, and he will capture most laps led. So there is that, but it doesn't help to lead so many laps and not lead that last one. He's right now got the advantage, and if anything was to happen, he'd be able to put some fresh tires on and not have to worry about fuel mileage, but that is not the case right now. All he has to be concerned about is that 62 machine. and the fuel in the tank of that Ford Mustang. To recap here, we've had 5 lead changes. Keith Mayato, your pole sitter, has led over half this race, or he's led more than 3/4 of this race. To this point, he's led more than half of the total laps that will be run. Anthony Burrows in second. He has led a few laps here. Nicholas Short led a few at the early stages of this race, and also Joseph Sizek getting a couple in there. But caution free, definitely a testament to the skill of these drivers. We haven't had any issues as Andrew Rattle coming down pit lane. He's in the 9th position, and this will be his final stop, but he's going to go a lap down here. Might even go 2 laps down as he pulls into his box. Good stop in the box, and service will start on that race car. But he had pitted much earlier than a lot of these drivers. Looks like Joseph Sizek also bringing it down. So those two on a similar strategy. And I don't think it is going to work as Sizek about to go 1 lap down. As Mayato passes him right there. And he will get work done on his vehicle. But Mayato now going to put 2 laps down on the 19 of Andrew Rattle. Anthony Burrows now under 2 seconds back. He's stalking him. And I have raced a lot with Keith Mayato. A lot of people used to call him Jaws, or still call him Jaws. He'll track you down from about as far back as you can imagine. Anthony Burrows playing that role right now. He was 4.5 seconds back coming out of pit road, and now 1.6 back, but maybe Mayato saving a little bit at the beginning of this run. I'm going to try and get a little bit more performance in the later stage of the run, but he is in danger of giving a little draft to that number 62 machine. Right now, Anthony Burrows is going to have to deal with the 19 who's on fresh tires. We'll see if Andrew here in the 19 will give him some space, or what he decides to do. Currently showing 2 laps down, and his closest competitor, Joseph Sizek, about a half straightaway ahead in 8th, 1 lap down. Also on fresh tires and much faster than the rest of the field. But that time by, Andrew Rattle not any faster than Anthony Burrows, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Joseph Sizek about a lap, or a second a lap faster than him. The gap now 1.2 seconds between those top two. Derek Justice has cut his gap down to 7.1 seconds back from Keith Mayato, but that is not going to be close enough, I don't think. Even if these two do get to battling in a little while here. Derek really wants to be much closer than that, I'm sure. And I'm not sure how he lost so much time through that cycle, of maybe just the saving on the tail end of the last run. But Chris Simard back here in 4th, currently 3rd of the playoff contenders. Nicholas Short here in 7th. He is currently 4th out of the 4 playoff contenders. And right now, 22.9 seconds back, last car on the lead lap. So Nicholas going to have to pull a miracle here. Not sure if it's possible without a caution. But everybody relatively spread out except for these top two, seconds separating them. See if we can visualize the gap. There it is. Anthony Burrows tracking him down. He was 4.5 seconds back. Now the gap just under 1 second. And you can tell Anthony's determined. He's won so many races this year. And he doesn't want this season to be a disappointment. He barely squeaked in past round number 1 of the playoffs. One of the last couple drivers to make it in on points after a very strong run at Dover. And right now he is tracking down Keith Maotto. Now the gap under 0.8 of a second. He was just about a tenth faster last time by. One of the fastest on the track other than those 2 drivers on fresh tires. See Maotto goes flashing by. He has run an incredible race, 76 laps led. Started on the pole and he has shown the way for the majority of this race. And he can't let that 62 get that close to him or he'll give him a little draft down the straightaways. As you can see right there, Burrows with a huge head of steam down the back straightaway. Through the corner here, Maotto actually maintaining a really good speed. He's carrying good momentum. As he leads, and now that gap right around 0.7. It's hovering there. Last time by a 0.5 faster for Anthony Burrows. We still have quite a long ways to go. 130 laps here tonight. Nearly 200 miles, and we are just past the 2/3 mark. It's Keith Maotto showing the way still. I want to thank our sponsors once again. That is Crockett Creek Beef Jerky. You can save 20% on your purchase of Crockett Creek Beef Jerky products using the code GIVEME20 on their website. We have that posted in the chat here. Also, we want to thank you for tuning in tonight on VSpeed. You can check us out at Facebook, facebook.com/VSpeedSim for for race announcements before each and every broadcast. You can find us here each and every week on Twitch, and you can find us on YouTube to see race replays from this series and other series. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter as well. As this lead battle definitely heating up, Anthony Burrows now under 0.4 of a second. He continues to chase down Maotto. Last time by 0.07 faster. This time by not much quicker, just about 2 or 300 of a second. And at that rate, he would still get there, and he is getting there. But it might get harder and harder as he gets close to that 36. But Keith at a tire disadvantage. He's going to bring it down pit lane. So he's not even going to try and stretch it. He's going to just take the fuel. We'll see if he takes any tires. Huge development there as Anthony Burrows takes the top spot. Derek Justice to second. Chris Simard bringing it down. The two V-Speed machines. A strategy call here to try and fill up on fuel. We'll see how long they're in their boxes. It looks like at least 2 tires. Maotto going to take 4. You can see Anthony Burrows coming to put him 1 lap down. A huge change there. Burrows with a massive advantage over Derek Justice. Maotto going to come off pit lane. Here comes Chris Simard now. A few seconds later. Both of them taking 4 tires and fuel. And Anthony Burrows putting them both 1 lap down. They dropped to 6th and 7th position. Looks like they may have a shot at getting up to Nicholas Short. Maybe even back up into the top 3, depending on how much faster they are here. Oh, maybe a little saving from the 62. Let's go on board with Anthony Burrows. We'll see if he's been pushing hard He is now saving. We'll see that lap time start to fall quickly as Derek Justice saved enough. See Keith Mayato in 6th. He's 1 lap down. That's the leader up there in front of him. He can at least get back on the lead lap, probably in the next 2 or 3 laps, and then he may even gain a spot here in about 5 or 6 laps. So may not be a bad strategy call. It might actually work out if they can keep up a pace that's fast enough to get up to those leaders who have to save fuel pretty heavily. Anthony Burrows really letting off the throttle early, and he is coasting a long way, currently running 33.6 second laps. Mayato running a 31.6, so he is making up 2 seconds a lap. And he's just going to go flat out. You know he's got a chip on his shoulder now to try and get up there and get this race back in his control. We haven't talked enough about Nicholas Short, who rides in 5th. He's currently 2nd of the playoff drivers after he was just the last of them. And we'll see if Nicholas has been saving in the early going here. As Mayato goes back onto the lead lap, he passes up Anthony Burrows. And he is just going to drive away. You can see that gap just extend instantly. As Burrows last time a 33.8. Mayato that time a 32 flat, actually 33.6 for Burrows. So a little bit of draft pull there from Keith, going to help him out on the second half of that lap. Derek Justice is actually closing in on Anthony Burrows. The gap just 5.6 seconds, and maybe Derek has enough and won't have to save it all. Chris Simard making his way past Derek Justice, and he's got another 5.5 seconds to go to get up to Anthony Burrows. I'm not sure this is going to work out for Chris. Keith might have a shot, as he's only 8 seconds back of Nicholas Short, who's running nearly 2 seconds a lap slower. He'll at least get up to 5th. And that time by 1.6 seconds faster, so it'll be about 4.5 laps before he gets up to Nicholas Short. And he'll still have 22 seconds to get up to Anthony Burrows, who's running about the same pace. Very interesting strategy call. Derek Justice cycles to 2nd. Brian Severi up into 3rd. That number 33 color chrome Autism Speaks machine. He's done an excellent job. He might come away with a podium finish here tonight in this season finale, his season debut. Doing a great job at showing his skill out here. Mayato starting to close in on Nicholas Short. Let's go to the nose cam. That's Short at the end of the straightaway. And that gap just around 4 seconds. Dropping quickly. Keith at this point about 1.5 seconds a lap faster than Anthony Burrows, which means he would need just under 20 laps to get there, but I think the pace is going to equalize in probably about 15 laps, so I don't know if he's going to have enough to get there. I think it's probably going to be an 8 to 10 second gap before we're all said and done, unless Anthony Burrows really has to save hard in the last couple laps. Chris Simard back onto the lead lap. He makes his way around Burrows. So now back up to 7 drivers on the lead lap. Joseph Sizek back on pit lane. Not sure what's going on with the 53. He has made many pit stops tonight. And I'm not sure he's even in his box. Looks like his pit stop has not even started, and I think he may have towed it pit lane, and he is done for the night. So 7 drivers left on the track. Andrew Rattle, William Kenny, Dylan Parker, Jake Klimovich, and Ryan Libby all taking it behind the wall ahead of schedule tonight. As my auto now has his sights set on Nicholas Short. This is going to be a change for that 5th position. My auto now dropping off in pace a little bit. He's going to get a little held up by the 99 on that exit of the corner. That'll slow this lap down probably a good half second as he just drives right on past up into 5th position and only about 5 seconds back of Ian Smith. So he'll get up there in probably another 4 laps. And then it is another 7 seconds up to Brian Severi. So Keith Maotto, a tall order to try and make it back to the front of this field, but Anthony Burrows has clean racetrack in both directions, at least 5 seconds. And that is all you could ever wish for here in a season finale. You've dominated the regular season with that incredible streak of top 5s. And now he's coming to 20 to go. He's got the lead over Derek Justice by 5.2 seconds, and Derek not a championship contender. His next closest contender is Keith Maotto, who's 20 seconds behind him. And Keith running about a second a lap faster. At this point, it's not going to be enough. That time by almost exactly 1 second faster. So I think Keith Maotto is going to come up a little bit short, looking for that first win of the year. The strategy not paying off. Didn't go far enough on the first run, not enough on the second run. Still, anything can happen. Any of these drivers can crash. Any of them can make a mistake. Anthony Burrows has had his fair share of mistakes in the playoffs, but tonight's race has been very, very smooth, clean. He's driven that car exactly how he has to, and he is out in front looking for that championship. Brian Severi, the biggest mover of the race. He's up 7 spots from where he started in his debut, doing an incredible job, that number 33 car. And can't say enough about this drive. He's probably going to come out of here with a podium. And he has played his cards just right as well. We'll see if he has to make any kind of stop, but I don't believe so. He's on the same tires and fuel as the 2 in front of him. And I've got a good feeling that the 62 and the 31 are going to make it. Maotto now down to 17.5 seconds. He's trying to make a pass on Ian Smith to get that done. Headed down into turn 1 and drive right on past. So Maotto back to 4th position. And leading 81 laps here. Going to be disappointing for Keith if he can't get back to the front. We'll have to see if these guys can make it. It's still no guarantee that the top 3 can make it. And who is your pick to win tonight, folks? At this point, it's looking like Anthony Burrows has the best chance. But he is still in danger of not having enough fuel. It's a very long run. Over 60 laps, closer to 65 for this second stint. Derek Justice in the same boat. Brian Severi in the same boat. Keith Maotto chipping away. He's down to 16.2 seconds, so he's made up over half a lap on Anthony Burrows, because he had to actually come from a few seconds behind him. And now he's less than half a lap behind him now, but I think he's just going to run out of time. Maybe if he made the stop even just a couple laps sooner, it could have been closer. But no guarantee that any strategy with another pit stop would work out. Brian Sivery about 5.7 seconds up the road. Derek Justice once again riding in second. He has not led tonight, but he has been up in contention all race long, and it's going to be a solid result for the driver of the 31. The 62 and the 31 have finished first and second so many times this year. Definitely been the class of the field, and it's looking like it's going to be that way here tonight. Keith Maotto now down to under 15 seconds. The gap to Brian Sivery just 5 seconds. We'll go to the nose cam here. You can see what that looks like. Basically an entire straightaway, or an entire set of turns from Keith Maotto to Brian Sivery. Anthony Burrows picking up the pace. He's the fastest car on the track, other than Keith Maotto and Chris Smart, who are on much fresher tires. But the difference in times now just 0.4 of a second per lap. And we hope you all are enjoying the race. This is the season finale of the NorseForce Racing League here from Homestead tonight. Your 4 championship contenders out on the track right now. Keith Maotto, one of them. He's currently riding second of the championship contenders. Anthony Burrows out in the lead. Currently has a 6.9 second lead over Derek Justice. Maotto in 4th on the track. Chris Samard in 6th. Nicholas Short rides in 7th. And that is how those top 4 run. As Nicholas Short, still on that same run, has not made a second pit stop, but Chris Samard just drove past a couple laps ago. Chris trying to get another top 5 out of this. It would be a great streak of races for him here in the playoffs, just not enough for the championship. But he did make it here to Homestead and really picked up the pace once the playoffs started, for sure. He had some top 10 runs in the season up to that point. Looks like Ian Smith is actually going to bring it in here. Oh, he misses pit lane, and that is going to allow Chris Samard probably to drive on by unchallenged. As he will get there, Ian Smith back up to speed, so they're side by side, but Samard going to drive past, and I think Ian Smith going to have to make that pit stop. Keith Maotto now just 13.2 seconds back, but we're under 10 to go. And hopes fading fast for that 36 machine, who ran such a great race. And Anthony Burrows somehow, some way, saving fuel while keeping the speed. And we'll see what he has to do here over these last handful of laps if he has to really conserve. It doesn't even sound like he's clutching in. Definitely just going for it now. You basically have what you have. If you can't make it, you're not going to win this race. No matter what you do. It's Ian Smith showing 1 lap down now. He's coming off of pit lane. He'll be in the 7th spot. Last driver on the racetrack and only driver off the lead lap. Keith Mayato actually in striking distance of third place Brian Sivery, and that's just 2.3 seconds. So Keith could come out of here with another podium, which would be a great streak for him as well. I believe every race in the playoffs he's finished third or better. And he's looking for another one of those tonight. 2.1 seconds, now 2.0. The gap from third to fourth. Derek Justice 9 seconds back of Anthony Burrows, and that's 62, just with a leg up over everyone in tonight's race. And if Anthony Burrows goes to victory lane, I believe it's 7 wins on the season. And what a season it would be to win 7 out of the 22 races, 1 out of nearly every 3. And I think only one race, potentially one race out of the top 10. I think every race he was in the top 10, and I think almost every race in the top 5. So Anthony Burrows showing off the speed we saw so much in the midpoint of this season. And he is trying to take home the championship. Keith Mayato, though, really closing in on Brian Sivery. Gap up to even Derek Justice in second, only 1.8 seconds. We'll see if Keith can get there. He's running half a second faster than both of those in front of him. So theoretically, he should get to the 33 on the last lap, and I think he might even get to Derek Justice right around that time as well. 2 laps to go. Anthony Burrows a 10.5 second lead over Brian Sivery now. Derek Justice brings it down pit lane, so he is not going to make it on fuel. Can Anthony Burrows make it? If Derek Justice can't make it, white flag being thrown. This is everything here. The 62 of Anthony Burrows, your leader. He's got a 10.5 second advantage over Brian Sivery. Keith Mayato in his tracks. But Burrows, we'll see if he can limp it home, if he's got enough fuel. Down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. I think it's pretty much locked up no matter what happens, as he's got a full straightaway over everyone else. Anthony Burrows sipping fuel. That car is going to make it. Anthony Burrows, your champion. The NorseForce Racing League Valhalla Cup Series comes home the winner here tonight. And what a run from Anthony Burrows. Started second, and he led the last 40 laps of the race, and nobody even got close. Keith Mayato comes home in P3. Just 37 thousandths between himself and Brian Sivery at the line, so very close finish there. And Keith going to finish second in the championship. Chris Samard finishes 4th. He will finish 3rd in the championship. And Nicholas Short finishes in 5th spot. He will finish 4th in the championship standings. We'll interview all of those drivers, as well as second place finisher Brian Sivery, as Anthony Burrows tears it up here down the front straightaway, keeping that car out of the wall, luckily. Burning some rubber here. I don't know how much fuel he's got. I think he might be out, folks. That is all he had. I think he'll be out in a second here at least. Sounds like that car is starting to sputter. But we are gonna bring him into the booth. Let's see if we can get him in here straight away. Anthony Burrows, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Anthony, you are the 2020 champion here in the Valhalla Cup Series. What does it feel like to capture the win here tonight and take home the championship?
It feels amazing, dude. This has never been one of my strongest tracks. I was kind of upset when I saw this was the finale. Going into it, yeah, just save fuel a bit better than the other guys. I saw Keith hit a pit a bit early. That's ultimately what got me the win there. Yeah, I don't know. I can't even believe it.
Yeah, you took the lead away when Keith came to pit lane. 40 laps led the last 40. You started in second. We saw you drop a couple spots or drop to third and run there for a long, long time. Was that just saving fuel at the start, or did you know it was going to be a close fuel run like that?
I was actually planning on pitting on 45 and 90, and then I was looking at my fuel. I saw we could actually make it till halfway. I was never saving fuel. I guess I just naturally saved being in dirty air and having less throttle time, but I'm not sure because Nick said he was like sputtering coming onto pit road the first time, and I had about 4 laps left, I think, so a huge difference there. But and I saw Keith pitted about 3 or 4 laps earlier than I did. I kind of had a feeling he'd run out at some point, but yeah, really really happy I got that one.
Yeah, definitely an incredible performance. And you know, I'm not 100% sure, but I think you were the winner last week too, correct?
Zach won it.
Oh,
I
Zach
got
won.
third last week.
Okay, so this is your, I think, 6th win of the season. You know, a 22 race season, that's just absolute domination to come away with that many wins. You know, what can you speak to about your performance this year, and you know how much confidence this is give you moving forward in the NorseForce Racing League?
It gives me so much confidence. First championship I've won in any league. And going into this, I was thinking I'd be lucky enough to even make it into the playoffs. Just looking how strong the field was. Yeah, I was just consistent enough and got some wins here and there. Made it into the playoffs, and just ran consistent all throughout, and ultimately won when it mattered right at the end.
Yeah, 10-4. You ran an incredible race, capture another victory, back to the winning ways. And just absolute domination this season. You had only a couple races outside of a top 5 finish, and you know, you were definitely one of the favorites coming in here. It didn't look like you had the speed early, but we saw you sneak up from behind like you do so often and take home the victory here tonight and the championship. So we're gonna let you go celebrate here with your crew, with your friends. Anybody you want to give a shout out to though before we let you go?
Yeah, huge shout out to Nick, Keith, and Chris. They're all amazing all season. They're all very quick this race. Shout out to you for putting the broadcast on all throughout the season. And big shout out to Matthew and Robbie and all of them for putting this amazing league on each and every.
Awesome, Anthony. Well, congrats on the win, the championship. You ran a heck of a race. You ran an incredible season all year, every race. You were the guy to watch out for. So definitely well-deserved championship, and go celebrate. We will hopefully see you next year or next season.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
All right, that was your winner here tonight, Anthony Burrows. Let's see if we can pull in. Looks like Brian is not in here to talk to, but we will pull in Keith Maotto and Chris Samard. We'll give them each a second. So Keith Maotto comes home in 3rd. So let's see if we can pull him in. Keith Maotto, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
10-4.
Well, Keith, it looked like you were the car to beat pretty much all race, but the fuel strategy bit you there in the end. Didn't quite have enough to make it the full second half. You know, what can you say about tonight's race, the performance of your car, and you know, this whole season?
If I perform a little bit better on fuel, but I know that's on me. It was a fun race. I was fast, and that was probably like the first time all season where I was the fastest car, and I was just debating which strategy to do, and I just hate saving fuel, so the whole time I was just hoping something would come out, but knowing that there weren't that many cars in the field, that chances are wasn't. But all in all, good finish. Still, after the whole season with the slow start and all the accidents, finishing out pretty strong is a good thing. I can't be disappointed in that.
Yeah, definitely a very, very strong finish to the season. You had a heck of a run through the playoffs with, I don't know, 5 or 6, maybe all 6 races with podium finishes. So, just incredibly strong way to finish up here. Does that give you a lot of confidence moving forward in the NorseForce Racing League, and you're looking forward to racing with these guys again?
Yeah, but then I'm thinking about joining them again. I just got to see which night works because I kind of got something going on for Wednesday night. So it's got to, keep my keep my what together and hopefully stay competitive enough where I can maybe finally beat Anthony for once.
Yeah, he was definitely one of the guys to beat week in and week out, and sometimes you'd get the better of him. No victories this year, but a lot of great runs tonight. I think probably your best run, your best shot to win, and fuel strategy, can come out on the winning end and losing end. It's almost a toss-up half the time, but you did power all the way back from over a lap down to get within 10 seconds. So I think you gained probably a total of a full lap on those guys, just a little bit too much time on pit lane. But a heck of a season for you, Keith. You're going to finish second in the championship standings here. Anybody you want to give a shout out to for that result, for tonight's race?
Yeah, first of all, shout out to all the competitors, everyone that I raced with all season. It's been a great year. Yourself, Adam, with V Speed. Thank you for putting on a great broadcast. Thanks for sponsoring the car. For Matt and John for putting all that effort for the last, I don't know, what it's 6 months, trying to make this thing go, and I'll be looking forward to next season.
Yeah, 10-4, Keith. Congrats on a great run tonight, a second place finish in the championship, and we look forward to seeing more great performances from you soon.
Thanks, Adam. Have a good night.
All right, you too. We're going to pull up our second place finisher, Brian Sibery. Brian, this is Adam in the VC booth. You got a copy?
How you doing, Adam?
Good, Brian. Well, I believe this was your debut here in the league, and you start in the 10th position. You run a heck of a race. You come out in second, just edging out Keith there at the finish line. But a great race run by you here, and want to give us a rundown of how things went from your perspective?
Yeah, I put some practice time in, and I wanted to make sure I don't overdrive the car early. I knew that, there was a little bit of a smaller field and tires were going to be big. I figured it probably would go green most of the race, so I was really trying to conserve, and I bit the bullet on that in the first 20 laps, 30 laps of run, but on those back half of the run, 35 laps or so, I was starting to reel guys in, pass them, and so I wanted to keep that going. The next, after the green flag pit stops, and I was clutching for probably the first 10 laps going in the corners just to save some fuel to make sure I had enough. And as I was coming across the line there to get second, I burped. So almost got past, but pretty happy with coming home second. And I know Matt puts on a great league, and this was a big show for them tonight. And I wanted to help represent and add some cars to the field, and had a lot of fun.
Yeah, and definitely a great run by you here tonight. And I think we mentioned it a few times. You were charging up through the pack at the tail end of that first run. You passed up Derek Justice and Nicholas Short, and those guys they're no slouches. So you had quite the run here tonight. You beat out all of the competitors here except for Anthony Burrows, who just had a little bit of a leg up on everybody. But a heck of a run here in your debut.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I run a lot of the open stuff, and I'm in the NorseForce League that they have for the open cars. And I really don't like driving the fix, but again, with this new tire model, I know you got to conserve that right front, and so that's really what I focused on tonight. And it paid off. It was fun to. It frustrates you when you're losing all that time, but it is fun when you see guys pushing on a 4 and you're still able to cut, and you're shaving off tenths, and you just know it's a matter of time before you get back to him and get a chance to pass him. But congratulations to the winner tonight, Anthony. He obviously had a great season to get here in the Final Four, and that's awesome. He could cap it off tonight, no incidents.
Yeah, definitely a great run by him. But great run by you here in the number 33 machine. Started 10th, come home runner-up. Anybody you want to give a shout-out to for tonight's event?
Yeah, for the guys that put this league on for sure, and you know we have. I didn't run my sponsor car tonight. This is a autism car I run occasionally. My son's got autism, so I like to get the word out. But NorseForce does have a promo going with ButtKicker, 20% off, all capital Norse 20, and you enter that code on checkout and get yourself a rumble in your seat. I love mine.
Awesome, Brian. We just threw the code in the stream chat there, so. Viewers, you can go check that out. Great sponsor of this series. Thanks, Brian, for your time here. Great run tonight, and we will catch up with you soon.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you. That was second place finisher Brian Sibery. We're going to pull up fourth place finisher Chris Smard. Just a second here. He came home third in the championship. Chris Smard, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Chris, you had a pretty solid race here tonight. Started in the top 5. You come home 4th. A little bit off on the strategy there with your teammate Keith, but definitely a solid result. You're going to finish P3 in the championship standings. So give us a rundown of how things went from your perspective, or what you could have done differently.
Well, it was a good run for me. I don't particularly run very well at this track, so to finish 4th is good with me. I just lacked a little bit of speed at the long run, and before that first pit stop, Keith was pulling away a little bit too much for me to keep pace with him. So, and then I noticed after that, before the second pit stop, I wasn't going to make it, so I pitted with him, and kind of lost time there. And I thought we were going to catch up. I thought Anthony Burrows was going to run out of gas. He did a really good job saving. But that's about it. I mean, I don't really do very well at this track, so 4th place is good.
Yeah, definitely a solid run. And, as soon as the playoffs, came into effect, you really stepped it up. A lot of top 5 runs, very solid. And you made your way into the Final 4 here. I think even you were a little surprised that you made it, but the consistency in that stretch of races is what got you there. So what can you say about that performance in the second half of the year here, really picking things up and making it this far?
Well, I didn't really know what to expect because I was run 10th to 15th a lot of races during the season, and I just couldn't get a really good feel for the car. And this is really the first year that I've run this package with it, and it just took me a long time to get used to it. You really had to manhandle the car to get it to turn and get it to run fast. So I figured that out towards the end of the season, and it just, I try to be as consistent as possible, and that helps out. Even though I don't win, I can still make it through the rounds, and that was fun. So.
Yeah, and you definitely were consistent. You had your moments too, where you're up there challenging for the lead. You led some laps here later in the year. Definitely showing some solid performance that you can compete with these guys week in and week out. You come home 4th here tonight. Not enough to win the championship, but you'll still finish P3 in the standings. Anybody you want to give a shout out to for tonight's race and this whole season?
I just like to give a shout out to you, Adam, for putting on a great broadcast every week, and plus you with V Speed. It's been a lot of fun racing with you guys, and I'd like to thank my wife and son and just all the guys that have run. It's a very competitive league, and I really enjoy running here. So
awesome, Chris. Well, we look forward to seeing more great runs from you here soon. Hopefully, we'll have something back with the NorseForce League that you can run in with these guys, and looking forward to running more with you myself. So we'll catch up soon.
All right, Adam. Yeah, I'm looking forward to, if they have the Cup Series. I don't know if they will, but I'm looking forward to that. If they do, I've got one other league that I'm committed to, but hopefully Matt will run the Cup Series on like Thursday or something. So that'll be fun. So.
Yep, 10-4. We are still waiting for word on the final schedule for next season, but hopefully hopefully we get something that works that you guys can all run in. It was a heck of a season and a lot of fun out there to watch. So congrats again, Chris, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thanks, Adam. Have a good night, man.
Thank you. You too. And that was fourth place finisher Chris Simard. But once again, your winner tonight, Anthony Burrows, started second. He leads the last 40 laps of the race, comes home the winner and the champion of the series here, this NorseForce Valhalla Cup Series. So I want to give a big congratulations to Anthony on his performance all year long. And he capped it off with an incredible performance here tonight, absolutely dominating the last half of the race with a 10.9 second lead at the finish. We're going to run through the full results and thank our sponsors one more time. To recap tonight's race, these guys went 130 laps with 0 cautions. We did have 6 lead changes among a handful of drivers. Anthony Burrows started on the front row and he finishes 10 seconds ahead of Brian Siberry and captures that victory and the championship. Brian Siberry finishing in second place in his debut, a heck of a run. He barely edges out Keith Maato, who comes home third, but second in the championship. Chris Simard finishes fourth. He's going to come home third in tonight's championship. And Nicholas Short caps off the season with a solid top 5, leading a few laps here tonight, and he finishes fourth in the championship. Derek Justice had to pit late. He comes home in 6th. Ian Smith comes home 7th. Joseph Sizek going to come home in 8th here tonight. Andrew Rattle going to finish in 9th. And William Kenny rounds out the top 10. In 11th, it was Dylan Parker who took it behind the wall early, as well as Jake Klimovich and Ryan Libby in 12th and 13th. James Mead did not start tonight. He'll be scored in 14th position. That's going to do it for tonight's race and the NorseForce Valhalla Cup Series season. We look forward to being back with these guys, depending on what cars they're running. We don't know exactly what the schedule is going to look like for their next seasons, but it's been a heck of a time broadcasting for these guys this year. The Valhalla Cup Series, some great performances, some awesome moments, and definitely some incredible finishes and drivers over here. So we want to thank them so much for allowing us to do this. I want to thank all the sponsors this season, including Crockett Creek Beef Jerky, Blaze Pizza, the ButtKicker, as well as Next Level Racing. And we want to thank Crockett Creek Beef Jerky for sponsoring tonight's event, the championship race here at Homestead. And we want to thank all of you viewers for tuning in all season long. And hopefully we are back with more racing action from these guys in the next few weeks. We're gonna have a break over the next couple weeks at least, but hopefully we will return with whatever series they're putting on Wednesday nights. We will be doing some in-car broadcasting for we're doing Road to Pro with some of the V-Speed drivers, so that'll be on Tuesday nights occasionally, so you'll see when we go live. If you check us out over on Facebook at facebook.com/vspeedsim, we will be posting announcements for each and every broadcast. And you can find us right here on Twitch. If you enjoyed tonight's race, please consider following or subscribing. It really helps us out. You can even use your Amazon Prime to connect here on Twitch and get a Prime subscription for free. You can also find us on YouTube at VSpeed Media, where we post race replays and other awesome automotive content. And you can check us out on Instagram and Twitter at VSpeedSim, where we post the same race announcements as we would over on Facebook, as well as other motorsports content, on-site reporting, all of that. And you can check out our website, vspeedsim.com, where we have some awesome merchandise and other services that we offer, including 3D design, graphic design, and much more. So check us out over there as well. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in here tonight. Let's see who we can go and raid after tonight's broadcast. So it looks like we are going to jump in with Mr. David Schildhouse, great friend to the channel here, Schildhouse. So we'll be going over there in just a second. Check out his content and get some great entertainment over there. I want to thank everybody once again for this season, for for tuning in and supporting us over here. Hope you all have a great night.